Plan on flying? In order to board domestic flights, your driver's license or state-issued ID must be a real ID. Learn how to get your real ID today at tsa.gov/real ID or visit your local DMV.
The following program is produced by the Tech Talk Radio Network.
Hi, this is Adrienne Barbeau. You're listening to Tech Talk Radio, and you're going to learn a lot.
Welcome to another episode of Tech Talk Radio. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Shawn and Andy.
And I'm Justin Lemmy. Welcome.
It's been nonstop events at work. This big world event happened, where the Pope died.
Yeah.
That kind of stirred some things up at work. And, so the graduation's coming up, and Notre Dame Day is coming up. So we're just busy.
When does the university system take off for summer? Do they do summer breaks, right? They're eventually just
our graduation is May 15th, and then we have some high school graduations after that we're doing in our venues, and then usually it's like the second week of June, and then it slows down until the third week of August.
Do they give you a list of all the stuff that you couldn't get to before the break, and that's
my boss has a list. It's like my arm's length of here's what we want to accomplish this summer that we didn't do last summer, or the summer before that, or the summer before that. So let's get to it.
Cool. As an IT manager, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. Yep. Do you have to? How do you prioritize, Justin? Like, when you get like work orders and you get trouble tickets or whatever at the park, how do you prioritize? Okay, we're going to get to this one today. The ticket system works differently, right?
I mean, yeah, it depends on what kind of industry you're in. I mean, obviously Shawn is in the education industry. I'm in the entertainment industry, working at a water park and everything. So I would say you prioritize money loss as the top priority. So if you've got a point of sale that's down, that's preventing you from making money, that is the number one priority, is get that machine back online so you can make money. But then, when it comes to like the off season, it's kind of more of like the bigger projects, and I prioritize the bigger projects based on my budget.
Yeah.
I mean, how much money can I get? How much money am I allowed to have for this next year? I present my ideas to the board of directors and I say, look, this is what I want to do this next year. And they say yay or nay.
Right.
I mean, that's just kind of how it works.
I'm kind of wondering how a lot of people are working the whole Windows, 10 to 11 update and maybe not being able to update. How are they kind of putting in for, all right, we got to buy X amount of systems. We've got to buy brand new computers. We got to buy to operate. And will the bosses understand what's being talked about? Yeah.
That's the hard part. Is making sure that you can somehow make it clear to the bosses that this is what needs to be done. This is what we want to do. This is what needs to be done versus what wants to be done. That's the hard part. And, and that kind of like recently, that's where I've been using AI. I'll go to Grok, which is from, XAI. And I'll be like, hey, look, I want to present this idea to the bosses. And I'll describe, I'll be like, this is what I want to do. And I'll say it in like geek terms. I'll be like, well, I want to upgrade the Ethernet on this and blah, blah, blah. I'll just use all these, tech terms. And I say, dumb it down for me. And not in a disrespectful way, but dumb it down to the point where somebody who's non-technical can understand the implications of allowing this project to move forward versus not. And it'll write me a very nice presentation.
I've always thought Grok, and now this is where we talked about Grok a couple of weeks ago. I always thought it was really like just on X, that you would just use it on X. You actually can use it for creating documents and doing other things as well.
It's its own website. I mean, you don't have to use it within X. You can subscribe to Grok without having to subscribe to X. But here's the thing, little secret. If you subscribe to X with the, I don't know what they call it, X Plus,
right?
With the blue badge, it's like $8 a month. You get access to Grok,
full access for the whole.
Full access.
Oh wow!
But if you subscribe to Grok on its own, it's $20 a month.
Yeah, right.
So you kind of like, okay, fine. I'll get the blue check mark on Twitter or whatever X. I'll get the blue check mark, and then I get access to Grok. Now, what we've done recently though, is I was able to convince my boss to say, look, we use Grok a lot. I use Grok a lot, and I know that other people do. Let me sign up for a super Grok account. And that is $300 a year.
Oh, wow. All right.
And you get access to the top of the line models that they have offered. And what I did was I paid the $300 and I use it for work. But I've given my login information to various people throughout our company to say, hey, look, if you need help with writing a job description or a press release or whatever you might want, a sales pitch, whatever, here's my credentials, log in, and you can use Grok, Super Grok, to help you write it. And so far, a lot of people have actually been using it for that purpose, and it's great.
I've been having a lot of fun with still ChatGPT, and I know you use ChatGPT for a little bit. Do you find Grok to be a little more powerful than ChatGPT?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. Grok is the smartest one I've ever used. Now, I haven't used the latest model of ChatGPT because, again, I'm not going to subscribe. I'm not going to pay the $30 a month or whatever it is for their latest model. But I can tell you that when I used ChatGPT, there was always a knowledge base cutoff where it would say, well, I don't know what's happening now because my knowledge cutoff is September of 2022. No, Grok is like, screw it, man, let's do it. And they'll go and they'll show you like real-time scores. Like I can be like, what's the score of the Colorado-Dallas game right now that's actually playing as we're recording this show? And it will tell me what the score is.
That's pretty amazing. That is good. Because, that has been one thing that slowed people down, that you really didn't have the most up-to-date research maybe with ChatGPT. If Grok is able to give that to you real time, that's pretty good.
One of the cool features that I really like about Grok is the think mode.
All right.
And what this allows it to do is Grok will actually talk to itself, and it will think its way through your question. So let's say I'm like, oh, write me some code, some Python code about how to build a bot that can, I don't know, go and like Tech Talk Radio on YouTube a bunch of times. Right. So it'll be like, okay, so the person wants to create a code. Let me think about this. Now the code has to be Python, but the Python code has to be this. And then, okay, well, YouTube algorithm says this. Okay, well, YouTube's algorithm says wants to do this. So we have to determine where does the mouse placement happen, and when the mouse placement happens, okay, so then we have to say, well, if to like it, and then we have to go, okay, now we have to wait 5 seconds, and then it literally will think to itself. And then it will go, okay, here's your code, boom, and it will spit it out.
Now, does it do, like with ChatGPT, I've been having fun with this, creating graphics for another show that I produce, and it started creating a graphic, and it gave me the same character, which was kind of cool. Does Grok do that same type of thing?
I haven't tried making images with Grok.
Right.
I have been on that whole bandwagon with ChatGPT where we do the Studio Ghibli type of pictures where
that was cool.
You convert those are really cool. But I don't know, but let me try something real quick. I'm on Grok right now, so watch this. Tell me everything you know about Andy Taylor of Tucson, Arizona. Okay, that's all I'm going to say.
All right.
Okay. All right, here we go. Searching.
I'm not going to come
Thinking. There are multiple individuals named Andy Taylor associated with Tucson based on available information. Okay, Andy Taylor, radio broadcaster and technology correspondent. Andy Taylor is a well-known radio personality and technology expert in Tucson, Arizona with over 30 years of experience in broadcasting. Here is a comprehensive overview of his profile.
Wow.
And it goes into your professional background. It was the Barry and Andy morning show in Palm Springs. Talks about since 1996, Taylor has produced and hosted Tech Talk Radio. He also writes various technology columns for various publications.
Right.
Early career began at age 10.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah, my parents, they made me work at their little radio station.
Recording tapes and listening to AM radio stations, holding various jobs. He worked as a nightclub DJ at a bowling alley.
Yes, that was my first gig.
Personal details. Taylor is associated with an address of blah, blah, blah.
Are you kidding me?
It gives your actual address.
Oh,
that's publicly available on so many websites.
And it says your home is worth blah, blah, blah with blah, blah square feet, 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. Contact information. Here's your phone number.
Is my phone number on there?
And it says your interests enjoy spending time with family, exploring technology news, and browsing adult websites.
No, it does not.
It does now.
No.
Great.
No, but
wow.
It really does mention a lot of information about you.
Yeah, that is really That is really crazy. And that's public information that's available on the web
public
right
information. And
Yep.
it just pulled up like 17 different people named Andy Taylor. And actually, a lot of them are you, just various versions of you.
now. Just that's a trip. Yeah. From all the
Yeah.
different many profiles that have been
And
created.
there's one here that actually talks about all your previous addresses.
That is crazy. All the way back to California and everything. That's just nuts. To talk about working at Disneyland.
I don't
Yeah,
know
I
about
kinda
that.
wonder about
but
that
yeah,
one,
but
yeah.
anyway, yeah. But it's pretty funny. This is
Wow.
the kind of information you can pull just from a very quick 5-second search on Grok.
I've always told people at some point you need to Google yourself. Find out what information is out there about yourself. That can actually help protect you in case somebody's trying to, do a phishing ploy on you, so you know what info is out there. And, that is important. And I mean, I get the phone calls. Let's refinance your mortgage, that kind of thing.
What is the city you live in? South Bend?
Yeah, Sean, there you go. Let's see what it says about Sean.
okay.
Granger, technically.
Oh, yeah, Granger.
Oh, okay, well, Shawn DeWeerd is a broadcast engineer and professional based in South Bend, Indiana.
Wow.
Current role is employed as a broadcast engineer at University of Notre Dame.
Right?
Tech Talk Radio since 2019. He's been a co-host of Tech Talk Radio.
Look at that.
In March of 2025, Shawn directed the first 4 games of ESPN during March Madness.
Wow.
What?
He attended NAB in 2025 in Las Vegas.
It is
Wow, that is recent.
I worked on the first 5 games of the
You graduated from Ferris State University.
You're a director
Yeah.
now, Sean.
Personal. He lives in Granger, Indiana,
Wow.
Yeah, it's the surprise.
including photography, video production, building computers, flying RC planes and drones, and playing video games. He's an avid Dungeons and Dragons player.
Wow. They
Well, that's
nailed it.
Basically a rip off the blog.
Yeah.
Yeah, but seriously, this is what it just finds, and it found all of your channels: Vimeo, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram.
Half of those don't exist
It
anymore.
found your wife, your Dr. DeWeerd.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh my God!
That is
Is there a
trip.
Miriam DeWeerd Beeson?
Who's that?
Do you know
What?
a Miriam M. DeWeerd Beeson, class of 1943 from Ball State? Oh, it says likely unrelated. Never mind. Okay.
Oh, wow. That
Okay.
So people need to Google themselves so they know what's
Not
out
even
there.
Google. Go to Grok.
Yeah.
Grok is pulling up. That's what it is. It's everything combined. It's every single website combined, and you don't have to go through all the searching through ads and stuff.
Right,
It's
right.
just going to present you with the data right there.
So, and it's $8 a month for the full access. Can you trial the Grok so you can?
I'm not sure.
Oh, I wonder if they have a trial.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think you can just if you just sign up for like 1 month of X premium or
Right.
whatever, not premium, plus, and then go to grok.com.
Wow. I know that Facebook has been trying lately to really get people to pay the money to get the check mark. They've been doing that too, get the Meta mark. And, it's just like, I just never found the need to do that. But again, I just kind of wonder if now Blue Sky doesn't have do they know they have a check mark now as well, that they're doing some kind of system like that.
I never actually used Blue Sky.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, I'm connected with a few
Ooh.
people there. What?
This is interesting. I searched myself.
Yeah. All right. What did it come
And
up
it's-
with?
Well, it says I'm a broadcast engineer, IT
Right.
professional, and co-host of Tech Talk Radio.
Oh, there you go.
So I'm based in Denver, Colorado, but it says my current role is a broadcast engineer and IT professional for a broadcast media group in Denver. Because I never updated my other socials
Oh,
that I don't work for.
because
them
you used to
anymore.
work for that Tribune.
Yeah, because it says co-producer and show host for Tech Talk Radio, and then it talks about history. I left Tech Talk Radio in October of 2003 to serve in the U.S. Navy.
Right.
Because it's pulling that from our blog.
Wow.
Notable projects. I've worked on media projects for Waterworld,
there you go.
recording messages for attendees. How does it know that?
How does it pick that up? Does it listen to the
We've
shows?
we definitely have talked about that on the show.
Yeah.
And it says he also expressed excitement about the reopening of Casa Bonita.
That was one of our
We've definitely talked
shows.
about that on the show.
That was one of our shows. I remember that.
Voiceover work. Justin has experience in voiceover acting, referencing a YouTube video, 5 Guys in a Limo, which showcases top voiceover actors.
See, that was recent. That was seriously,
recent, yeah.
that's like within the last month.
I was past roles: government contractor, BMW car salesman, and AOL call center.
Yeah, you did that, didn't you?
I did all of those.
Yeah. Oh man, that's
my
hilarious. Now, does it mention Misa or does it mention anything else?
No, it doesn't mention that. It mentions that I was in the Navy. Actually, hold on. It says family, a son named Eric, for whom
Wow.
he purchased an Acer Predator gaming laptop.
3
Which
weeks
we
ago.
just talked about. Yeah,
He
we just talked
installed
about that other show.
Custodio parental control software to monitor Eric's online activity. Did you put this on the blog?
Yeah, it's up. It's up there. Well, we talked about we talked about that on the show. But
Okay, well, I know we talked about it on the show, but I didn't know if you actually like put it on the blog in text format.
I think I did. Yeah, because it mentions Custodio. Is it Justin was
He
using
expressed
that.
interest in visiting Super Mario World in Japan and discussed travel logistics, including flying during the pandemic and first-class experiences.
You know what we got to do? We got to do this in Sahuarita, one of the fairs that we do, whether it be Fiesta Sahuarita, set up and do searches for people and find out what we know about them. That would
Oh
be
my God. Dude, seriously, like, can you imagine this? Like, you meet somebody at a coffee shop or a nightclub or whatever, and you're like, hey, what's your name? Or where are you from? That's all you got to ask them.
Yeah.
And then, bam, you turn to Grok and you start typing in, tell me what you know about this person from this area. And it's going to be like, boom, here you go. And then you can be like, oh, weren't you the one that was in that that play at the local theater?
Yeah.
And they'll be like, how did you know that? And be like, oh, I just know things.
Think about it. This can be a tool for, and again, this is why people need to be, you have your guard up. This could be a tool for fishers, people that want to
Absolutely.
fish you. Because,
Oh, yeah.
like I play.
That's what I'm leading towards. This goes back to those famous like Facebook, Instagram pipe posts where it's like this fake radio station that'll post, social media. It'll say, I bet you don't remember what street you grew up on.
Oh yeah.
And it's like people are like, oh yeah, I grew up on Boulevard Lane or whatever. And it's like,
Boulevard Lane.
don't give that information away.
No.
First off, that's not even a real radio station.
No.
And second off, what you're doing is you're just literally giving people your personal information. And then the next question is going to be, oh, I bet you can't
What
remember
was
the
first-
last
what was
four
the
of your
first car you
social.
drove?
What's your parents' maiden names?
Yeah.
What's your last four of your social security
Do
number?
you
I bet
remember?
you can't tell me.
How about this one? Do you remember your first phone number? Believe it or not, that can lead to a name search that shows up properties. It's pretty amazing when somebody does a search like that. It can actually show where you've lived in the past. All that information is out there, so you've got to be really careful. We got our scam squad trying to remind people out here, don't do this, don't do that. Somebody comes up and they seem like your best friend online. Even if they are your friend, you don't have to give out any information.
Absolutely.
Joke around with them if you have to, or just don't even connect with them.
Well, it's kind of funny you mentioned that because we were gonna probably migrate into this topic anyway. But I recently have been playing a lot more of a game called Sea of Thieves on Xbox.
You used to play that
And
before.
I did. It's been out since 2018, and I've been playing it. But I needed somebody to play it with. So they have their official Discord channel where you can just jump into a random voice chat,
Right.
and then you can gather up players. And this guy just randomly joined me, and he was like, "Hey, you want to play?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, no problem." So I added him as a friend on Xbox, and we started playing. And then I was like, "Oh, hey, your name's David." And he's like, "Wait, how do you know that?" I'm like, "Well, it actually says it right on there. Like your name, your real name is next to your gamer tag."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh my god. I don't think I should be telling you that." I'm like, well, "Okay, first off, calm down. All right.
Right.
I'm not a scammer. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you what I see. It's right there on the gamer tag." And he's like, "Well, I'm only 15 years old." And I'm like, "Okay, I get it. I understand. Don't worry about I'm not here to mess with you or whatever." And actually we become friends. Like this kid, 15 years old, he lives somewhere in Canada. He's a kind of like a friend of mine now. We play Sea of Thieves all the time.
Right.
But it's just even that simple bit of information. Like when he created his Xbox gamer tag, he left the option checked to show real name.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, I can't change it now because my sister owns the Xbox account and I can't get in and do it. I was like, well, just talk to your sister. He's like, I don't talk to my sister anymore. And I was like, ooh, that's going to be a problem.
And that could take away his being able to play Sea of Thieves.
Exactly. So yeah, he's like, yeah, well, now you know my real name. And I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever. But it goes back to your thing. It's like, even as something as simple as playing a video game with somebody, people are going to know what your gamer tag is, and then they're going to figure out. They can connect the dots.
Right. Well, I'll tell you, when we had Tanya Jordan on, she was on the show a few weeks back. She mentioned one of the most dangerous is Snapchat. And she talked about the location thing on that. Well, wouldn't you know, somebody had posted something on Snap, and I'm on Snap, and I gave it a like, and then that person sees that, oh, somebody liked it, and they sent me a note, a message saying, "Do I know you?" And I said, no, I just liked your image, and I said, I'm in Tucson, I'm a techie, and just left it like that. She was in Tucson as well. That I do know, right? Well, then I went, who is this person? I went to go look, and she had a location turned on. Here's the thing: you have kids. You're on it yourself, turn off your location, because what it does is it tells everybody where you live, when you're home, when you're not home, and when you're at work. And when I saw it, I saw that her location was turned on. Mine's turned off, but her location was turned on, and it was showing exactly where she was. She was at work, and exactly at where she worked. And I'm thinking, if I was a weirdo, if I was a stalker, I could show up at her work. And that's the whole thing. So I said, listen, I would recommend on your Snapchat, since you're fairly new, she had only had about 300 messages that had gone in and out. I said, I would go ahead and turn off your location services. If you go in your settings, turn it off. Otherwise, people are going to know exactly where you're at, where you're working at. So I don't know if she did. I don't know if she ever did, because I haven't seen her post in quite a while. But that could be real dangerous.
She probably just blocked you. It was like, creeper.
Andy the Creeper. Yes.
I mean, honestly, that's how she's probably a young person, doesn't
trying to
realize
keep you
what
safe.
she's doing. She's like, oh my God, this creepy old guy is telling me that he knows where I'm at. I'm going to block him.
Where did you get creepy old guy? This lady was in her 30s. Where do you get creepy old guy from? Thanks a lot, buddy.
I'm just saying. I mean, anybody that's older, look, I get the creepy old guy. Okay, I work with a bunch of like 16 and 18-year-olds. Okay. Right. I'm the creepy old guy.
I used to catch flack for this from my last morning show co-host. When somebody would call in, and I'm not a creeper, but they would call, and she called me a creeper because of this. They would call in, and they would tell us her name to participate in a contest or add something to the show. What would I do? Fire up Facebook and do a search to find that person. And Dakota ended up saying, you know what? That is really creepy. You got to stop doing that. And I go, no, I want them to follow us. I want them to follow the show. She said, no, you're just looking for yourself. I go, no, I'm not. So, yeah, I just thought, yeah.
But I mean, this goes to show how easy it is to pull people's information.
Absolutely.
From social media or just the internet itself.
Yeah. And again, somebody could say, oh, I knew your dad. And then you know your dad's name, or your mom. Know your mom's name. So you got to be really careful.
There was this one time, and I'll be honest with you. This is one time. This was a long, long time ago. I was playing a game. I can't remember what game it was. It was Rust. And I was playing with this dude, random dude I met within Rust, and we became really good friends. Like, we were playing all the time. And then one night we were just sitting around. We were drinking a couple beers together, and then he's like, "Where you live?" And I'm like, "Oh, it was, I live in Denver or whatever. Maybe it was San Diego at the time. I can't remember." And then I was like, where do you live? And he's like, oh, you never heard of it. It's up in Kalamath, I think, maybe whatever, Wisconsin. Yeah. I don't know, whatever. And I was like, oh yeah. So immediately I'm like Googling maps, his city, just because I just wanted to see how far I could get with it. Like, I wasn't trying to do nothing nefarious. I just wanted to see how far.
Exactly.
And I was like, oh yeah, I know that city. And he's like, well, what do you know about it? And I just randomly picked out like, oh, mom and pop's sandwich shop on the corner of 3rd and 7th.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I used to go there all the time. And he's like, wait, what? You used to go here? I'm like, yeah, bro. And I would go to their website and I would look at the menu and I'd be like, oh, I used to order the ham and cheese. The ham and cheese is so good. And he was like totally buying it.
Right.
And he was like, oh yeah, I live off of like, 15th and whatever. No. And I'm like, oh, wait, hold on. Wait, 50th? And like, as I'm saying this, I'm pretending I'm thinking and I'm searching for that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, 15th and whatever street. Like, I'm not even giving away information here. I'm just like totally randomly saying stuff. I'm like, oh, 15th in Maine. Oh yeah. Oh wait, hold up. Are you like the third house on the left, the white one? Because I'm looking at Street View. And he's like,
look at that.
No, I'm the green one next door. I'm like, wait, hold up, dude. My friend lived like down the street from you. And he's like, wait, what's your friend's name? And I quickly like search a friend, like people like, and the guy was buying it. This is how easy it is to become a scammer.
Yeah, it really is.
Wow.
It's all about information. And Sean's having a great laugh over there.
It's just, I'm just listening. It's a good time. It's like, it's like the confidence walk, right? When I worked in news, And you could get anywhere just by looking like you belonged
That's so true.
and acting like you knew what was going on. Same thing. It's social engineering. Like they're like, oh, he knows what's going on. I'm not going to bother him. It's the same thing. It's like, oh, you know all this stuff about me. It must be legit.
Well, that's been one of the ways.
Not like I could just spend 2 seconds and search for it on the internet.
That's been one of the ways that people have been able to break networks and be able to get in to a company. They want to get into their
Kevin
internal
Mitnick.
network. Yeah, Mitnick, talked about that, walking in and acting like you know what you're doing. And some people will just be, oh, yeah, come on in. And you're in. You can find an office that's empty. I mean, if Spielberg could set up an office at Universal Studios and with a nameplate and everything, and that was back in, the 70s, imagine now. Somebody just walks in, sets up an office, plugs into the network, and they can right away get all kinds of information off of it. That is one way that people will use to break into a system.
Social engineering. That's still the best way to do it. Last year, when we had some summer interns that worked for us, one of the things I did with the summer intern is the guy that nobody knew who he was. I gave him a fake Verizon vest and a fake Verizon badge and a helmet, and a briefcase with some fake work orders. And I told him, I said, I want you to visit every one of our properties, our golf course, our mini golf course, our ice center, our fitness center, our sports center. I want you to walk in there and I want you to tell them that you're here to install an internet circuit.
Right.
And I want you to show them the fake work order. And I want you to let me know if they give you access to the IT room. And every single property except for one succeeded in saying, get out of here.
Wow. Amazing. All right, listen, we got to take a break. We come back with more of Tech Talk Radio. Kudos to one of our members of the show. We haven't talked to her for a while, but we'll tell you about that. I'm Andy the Creeper.
I'm Shawn, about to go install Verizon Internet at one of Justin's properties.
And I'm Justin Lemmy, the old guy on Tech Talk Radio. You can find us on the web, techtalkradio.com. We'll be right back.
And now, back to Tech Talk Radio.
So before the break, we were talking about that I've been kind of like playing this game again, and I'm kind of the gamer geek, and Shawn, you're obviously a gamer geek.
Sea of Thieves.
The game, it's called Sea of Thieves, and it's on Xbox Game Pass. It's also actually on PlayStation as well, and it just got released on Battle.net. In case you don't have Xbox Game Pass or PlayStation, you can get it on Battle.net, which is Blizzard's. But it's basically a game where you get to become a pirate. And the graphics are very cartoonish, I guess you could say, but the gameplay is definitely not. The gameplay is very much, well, I mean, anybody can really play. I think, I don't know, Shawn, what's the rating? E for everyone, or is it mature? I don't remember, but
I mean, it's no gore.
Yeah, there's no gore, but
you're a pirate.
But it is a multiplayer game, and it requires an internet connection, and so therefore you are playing against real people, and those people can get a little vocal, if you know what I mean.
Oh wow!
But what's fun about the game is exactly that. You can do whatever you want in the game. If you want to just run commodities, like take rare gemstones from one port to another, you can do that. If you want to go and dig up gold treasure using maps, like pirate maps.
Let's say you go do those bounties where you're like, I'm going to ship these treasures from point A to point B. There are people that get quests to capture your gems from point A to point B. So it's like, you're definitely playing. It's definitely a lot of fun.
Do you have to have a killer machine to play this?
You have to have a decent gaming rig, I guess. I mean, I can play it on the Steam Deck, but it definitely is. You can't have just like a basic computer with integrated graphics. You need a dedicated graphics card, but you definitely don't need a top of the line rig. I mean, the game was released back in 2018. So, we're approaching, 7 years on it, but it is an amazing game. It's so much fun. It's called Sea of Thieves, and it's just a pirate game.
You've been getting back into this because you've been watching somebody actually playing the game, which kind of changes the whole experience, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. There's a guy that I've been watching a lot on Twitch. He goes by Hitbo TC. Right. And I'm trying to get him on the show. I'm telling him, because he was talking about one of his streams. He's like, yeah, I want to get famous someday. And I was like, hey, why don't you come on Tech Talk Radio? We'll make you famous overnight.
Please.
We're big time. We're big time. And he was like, oh, you don't want to interview me. I was like, no, actually, I kind of do. Because remember, back in the day, we interviewed Raya Stream. We interviewed Darkness429, these other streamers. And I kind of think like, okay, a lot has changed since we talked with those guys.
Right.
And I kind of want to understand, how has things changed for you, since the pandemic? Like, how do you maintain your audience? How do you maintain your livelihood? Because this is what he does. I mean, he's a father of 4. I don't know what his wife does,
right?
But he plays video games for a living. Now
that we're pretty much, I'm not going to say it's over, because I know somebody who just got about of COVID, but now that the pandemic is pretty much done, how has that affected online gaming and people watching some of the online gaming streams? Has that gone down?
I think a little bit. I mean, in a way. I mean, I've seen other streamers come and go.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I see all these new streamers popping up left and right. I mean, these guys are, guys that are, on Twitch, and Twitch is really hard. Twitch is like going into the wild, wild west, man. I mean, you're inundated with streamers that are, 1,000 different streamers playing the same game as you are. How are you going to get featured amongst these thousands of people? But I actually tune into the guys that have, 10 people watching, 15 people watching, maybe 5 people watching. That's who I tune into. I don't necessarily tune into the ones that are having thousands of people watching them. You're never going to get a chance to talk to them because their chat is moving so fast, because they're having so many people comment.
True.
And honestly, at that point, you're kind of gone into automatic mode where you're just playing the game, making money. It's the people that are having the less than, let's say, sub 500 watching, are the ones that are actually going to pay attention to you as a viewer and say, "Hey, Andy, how you doing today, man? Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Thanks, Shawn. Thanks for the $2, Shawn. I really appreciate it."
That's cool.
You watch guys like Dr. Disrespect. He ain't going to call your name unless you donate at least $1,000.
Or Ninja. Yeah.
Or Ninja. Yeah. You have to donate $1,000 for them to get you to call your name out.
Their viewer count is incredible. I mean,
yeah, I know. Sure it is. But
now, I'm just wondering, have you ever streamed and had a game on while you were streaming? Did you ever? Because I tried it with Microsoft Flight Simulator, and it was not good because my graphics started dying.
Well, first off, you picked the most boring game in the world to stream. Okay, no, I did. I tried a couple of various games. I don't know, man. It was right back in the beginning of the pandemic and stuff.
Yeah.
And I maybe had like 2-3 people watching. And like 2 of those were my wife and my mom. So, and the third was probably a bot, trying to like get my information. So yeah, I would say, I don't think I've ever had a actual real viewer.
Shawn,
I think 5 is the max I've had.
5, yeah.
Well, now what were you? Were you doing Dungeons and Dragons?
So
big time.
I streamed a while back. Like if I look back, I probably started streaming in 2011.
Oh wow!
Oh wow, that long?
2012. Yeah.
Before streaming was even a thing.
Yeah, but I would stream on Ustream.
Oh yeah.
Or Justin TV.
We were on both of those. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, what was Ustream? Did Ustream? What happened to Ustream?
Brad.
I don't know.
So Brad, I'll tell you. Brad Hunstable, who started Ustream, ended up selling it to IBM, and IBM took it and basically just shuttered it. It just ended.
Oh.
But Ustream was great. We used to be on Ustream, and we had so many. We still have listeners that listen to the show that used to watch us on Ustream. But we were streaming from my garage in the old house.
If I went back to look at what my first stream was, it was when I was working for my first job out of college. So this would have been May 2008.
Mm-hmm.
We started trying to stream. I worked for a company that did a lot of the ARCA Remax stock car series. Now it's part of NASCAR. We would stream a single camera to the web. Single camera.
Wow.
I'd be up on the press box just following the lead, and we would stream it to the web and use the radio audio as our audio.
Wow, that's so cool. We would just do Tech Talk. We would do the show. Slick was in on it. You were still in the Navy, and that's how we were using it. So,
what games were you playing, Shawn?
Oh, it would be World of Warcraft.
Okay,
StarCraft. I did some StarCraft stuff when I got into really early in access into Heroes of the Storm, which is another Blizzard game. I played a lot of that. I streamed a ton of Overwatch when it was first out.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of whatever I was playing, I would stream. If you go to my YouTube page, it was all streamed to my YouTube page. I used Restream and streamed to my Twitch, YouTube, Facebook when I had it.
It's
Twitter
funny.
when
I have your YouTube page right here from Grok.
Yeah,
right?
Of course you do. But if you go to my live pages, you can go back and watch all of my Dungeons and Dragons live streams.
Oh, wow.
Because Twitch, after inactivity for a while, it only archived so many, and they don't tell you, and then you go back and you're like, I want to look at my clips from 3 years ago, and they're like, gone.
I'm sorry. I have to say, the number one video that it popped up on your page, the weird sizzle reel.
What the heck does that
mean?
Yeah.
It's so a sizzle reel, and Andy, you can link the. It's
Yeah,
a
I know
sizzle
what it
reel in the industry is just like your hot clips. Like it's like a collection of your hot clips from.
Whoa.
The most recent.
This is actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's like a demo reel, but
Yeah.
it's called a sizzle reel instead of a full demo reel. It's only a
Okay.
couple minutes.
Well, the thumbnail doesn't do it justice because it's like you in a flight suit in a cockpit of an airplane or something like that.
that's
I'm
not
like,
me.
yeah. I
Which,
don't
sure,
know that.
Could be. No, we did some stuff. That thumbnail specifically is from the Thunderbirds came and flew at the field of flight in Battle Creek, and we did a story with them, and they took one of our reporters
Do
up
you
in the
have
plane.
your famous video on here too, though?
Yeah, your video has to be on there.
Probably not, because it kept getting taken down because I didn't own the rights to it, and because it was popular.
Wow.
But it's not in my sizzle reel, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
dude.
It does. Oh, that's so cool. All right, listen, we gotta take a break, but we gotta do a shout out to Amanda. Amanda from Tech Talk Radio, one of our hosts. It's been a while she's been on because she has been embedded in education. She's been named one of the top 30 IT K through 12 influencers to follow for this year. Pretty cool stuff. She's and the write-up that she was given in EdTech magazine was an instructional coach at Fontana Unified School District in California. Amanda is a advocate for game-based learning. She also helped establish the esports team at her district and is always looking for ways to promote impactful curriculum, equitable opportunities, and student voices. She's also a part-time co-host on the Tech Talk Radio show. So one influencer. So big applause to Amanda.
Good job, Amanda.
I talked to her and I said, you got to come back on the show. She said she wants to. So we're thinking maybe June she'll stop in and do a show with us because
That'd be great.
It has been a while. But yeah, very, very cool. And she's been one of those that was watching us on Ustream way back when. And then we just connected with her and, she ended up doing a show with us. So that's very cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All right, we'll take
Love to have
another
her
break.
back on.
We will be back with more of Tech Talk Radio. I'm Andy the Creeper.
I'm Shawn, installing internet in Justin's locations.
And I'm Justin the Old Guy. Find us on Facebooks, the facebooks.com/Tech Talkers. We'll be right
Find us
back.
on MySpace.
Oh,
Yeah,
MySpace. Yes.
Find us on 4chan.
Now, back to Tech Talk Radio.
This is Stephen Wright. You're listening to Tech Talk Radio.
Yeah.
That?
Something along that line.
Yeah, I guess that was it. All right.
Let's go with it. I love it.
No, I'll say it anyway. All right, this is Stephen Wright, and you're listening to Tech Talk Radio. But, I've already been saying that.
I love you, Steven. Can't wait, man.
All right, we have a listener question from Dave Tucson. Wait, I think that's Dave in Tucson.
Dave in Tucson.
Dave in Tucson. Yeah.
Grammar is important, Andy. You start
Yes,
putting
yes,
commas
yes.
in here so I know that it's
Not Bruce
I think I did it
Chandler.
last year.
Yes.
Bruce
Dave
Chandler.
in Tucson. Yeah,
Dave
here we go.
in Tucson. So this question from Dave is, I have been wanting to record video files off my over-the-air TV.
Ooh.
I know with the TiVo, this is possible. At least it used to be where I could download the clip. I don't want to have to get the cable. Is there a solution that can allow me to record over the air without this cable? So we talked about this question during the break. I suggested something like WinTV.
Oh, my God.
If anybody remembers what that is, that was a old
Sean, your age
PCI
is showing. Your age is showing.
I had one growing up.
Yeah.
And
So-
we recorded clips off the TV. It was basically a PCI. Well, it was even PCI Express at that point. I don't even remember what it was.
AGP.
But it was basically was an analog antenna tuner that you could plug into your computer and you could record using a media player or something.
Some of the companies, Hapag made one. And I also had I remember this one? The ATI All-in-Wonder, which had a TV
yep.
tuner on it. Yeah. So
I
you're
don't remember
right.
that one.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, there were several PCI Express cards. They still make some. But Justin then said HD home run.
Yeah.
That is the product you want to get. Plug it into the antenna. You plug it into your computer network with the Cat5 cable or
Right.
Cat6, whatever. And you can then navigate to it on your computer and record.
So to expand upon that, the little HD home run is a very tiny little box. I mean, it's probably the size of your hand.
Okay.
You're going to plug in your over-the-air antenna tuner into it. Now, when you plug this device into your network, like just plug it into your router or your switch, whatever, you're going to have to find out. There's instructions on it. It'll tell you the instructions, but you basically have to figure out what the IP address that it pulls from your network. Let's say 192.168.0.15.
Right,
okay,
right.
whatever. You're going to navigate to that website, 192.168.0.15. It's going to bring you to the HD home run page. You're going to set it up. You're going to tell it what zip code you live in. It's going to download the data for all the channels with the names and the guide.
The program guide. Do you have to pay for the program guide?
Nope.
No.
Well, some of them you do.
Yeah.
I don't know how it works recently. I haven't used it in a couple years. I know there are some paid program guides. I think the HD home run will download the channel data, not the programming data. I think you do have to pay a very small monthly fee if you want the programming data. But then what you do is you get a program on your computer like VLC Media Player, which is free. And within VLC Media Player, you go to File, Open Network Stream, and you're going to type in the IP address of your HD home run.
Oh, wow.
And you hit Enter, and it's going to pull up all the channels.
But
And
they
you
actually
just
have
click
their
on-
own. They actually have their own application now too.
Oh,
they
good,
do?
good. Okay,
Okay.
okay. So then, yeah,
and
you just tune to the channel.
it has support for Plex, MB, Jellyfin.
Yep.
So you can just tie it into those, like just your normal streaming apps. It has an app for TVs. So if you have it, it's on your network. You can probably see it. You can stream to your computer, your iPad, your phone, your computer, etc. They have 3 different versions: the Home Run Flex Duo, which allows you to have 2 separate tuners going at the same time. The Flex Quattro, 4 streams, and then the Home Run Flex HD.
Yeah, how much is that one? Yeah.
$200, but it gives you 4 tuners, but it allows you to decode ATSC 3.0.
Ooh, that's a big thing.
All right.
So
yeah.
but that's the big one. So you can get newer stations that are running ATSC 3.0 instead of getting their other channels that are only ATSC 2.0 or 1.0, et cetera, et cetera.
Now, the company that makes it is called SiliconDust.com. I guess you can find it on the website there if you want to buy it. But yeah, there's a little investment, but that's what we paid for
It's a heck of a lot
high-end-
cheaper than a TiVo.
Yeah, it is. And then you pay TiVo. I think you pay a monthly with TiVo, don't you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and you don't have to pay that with this unless you want the electronic programming guide.
Right.
But,
yeah. That's actually a pretty good idea. That'd be a way to, if you don't want to, if you want to cut cable, I was so close to cutting cable, and I ended up I called them up to say, hey, listen, I'm not liking the bill. It was going to go up again. And I'm already at $270, right? And I thought, that's just too much.
Lord.
Yeah, so I told her, I'm paying for this. It's of what, TLC?
Hallmark? Hallmark Plus?
So I'm paying for this thing called Blast. And I was told a couple of years ago that wasn't even needed anymore because I'm already getting the higher speeds. But it was me following through. It's my own fault. So she says to me right off the bat, well, I can rework this and save you about $120. She did. $120 a month I'm saving.
Wait, this is an actual Comcast representative?
Yeah. So getting the same internet speeds.
Wait, they're actually saving you money?
Saving me money. And she then said, I can do something better for you. Who is your phone service provided through? And I told her. And she said, well, we can bring you over to our mobile service. And I can give you this. This is why Xfinity is trying really hard to keep its customers, because there's been kind of an exodus recently.
Yeah.
She says, I can give you free mobile service for a year.
Wait,
No.
what?
Yeah. And considering I've been paying $90 a month, that adds up to quite a bit. Then after the year is up, I'll pay $44.
Wait, so who does Xfinity write off of, though? What towers?
They write off Verizon.
Ooh.
So at least that's what I've been led to believe. So
Okay.
And I thought, let's see. And I have had no problems traveling between Marana and Green Valley, being on my device in Green Valley. It's been great.
So your device shows that you're on Comcast?
Yes,
though?
it says Xfinity Mobile
Or
as
Xfinity,
my
yes.
carrier. And then I said, well, what if I want to do a second line for my business, since our Skype number is going to be going away? And she said, it's $20 extra. That's it per month. And I
That's
thought, wow.
actually not too bad. I mean, they have really been making some changes, honestly, with Comcast. Because you're right, it's been an exodus. I mean, with the streaming culture, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sean, do you have cable?
No.
You have YouTube TV though, right?
Yeah, we share. So we piggyback off of my in-laws with YouTube TV.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah,
And
I have
because
YouTube TV as well.
because they moved to Kalamazoo, so you no longer have to pay extra because that's within the distance.
How about the bringing the signal in as far as the internet? How are you getting that high-speed connection? So you can watch
Metronet
it.
fiber.
So it's fiber, so it's pretty good delivery.
We have Metronet fiber here, and I get gig up, gig down.
Wow.
And I think
Yeah,
I paid
me too. Yeah.
not $80 a month. I think.
I've got Quantum, which is CenturyLink Lumen, and I
Right.
get I think mine's 75 and about $80.
Right.
And then I get gig up and down.
But I mean, it's crazy. I mean, I really enjoy our internet. It's been good, and because it's fiber, it's not down when the power went out.
Right.
So all I did was just plugged in my modem, the modem, and my router and my TV into my DJI power box, and off and running we were. So Max could watch his YouTube and not be crabby about it.
But now, all right. So now, have you guys heard about Moca? And
Coffee?
no, it's MOCA. I have just been looking into this recently, and I've been kind of surprised. When I had my house built, the other part of Tucson, we had it built with Cat 5 throughout the home. So each room had a Cat 5 connection. And there was a head in our closet, and I had one of the really good firewalls, a hardware firewall. It was really a really well done system. But also I ran the server for Gloria's business. She did medical billing at the time, and we had to buy the software and the whole bit, and I loved it. Well, of course, we moved, and the house that I'm in did not have that, and I missed that. So I have tried doing the phone line connection from TP-Link, and that was okay. It wasn't as reliable as I had hoped for. What we have been using is a TP-Link now wireless connection, which is kind of a wireless bridge to our studio. That's okay. But now I've heard about Moca, and what it is internet over coax. Now, if you think about so many homes now are doing the streaming via a router in their home. A lot of homes are wired already for coax. And apparently what it does is you have one device at one near your router and the other device near your other room or whatever. And you can actually do internet over coax. I don't know how fast it is yet. TrendNet, Asus, there's some other companies that have these devices. I'm trying to get my hands on one of these so I can give it a test and see. But think about that. So many people have had their homes wired for coax. They're not even using the coax now. So this would be one way to expand the network throughout your home via the coax connections. And it's called MOCA. And might be something to try out. Not too expensive too, about $200, I think, or $150.
$119, and they're saying it can do 2.5 gig.
Yeah, and that's two connections. So imagine in my situation where we have a switch or we have a hub in our studio. It's all I need, being able to come off that line.
That is really cool.
I might just give it a try and see what we think about it. Just heard about this, and when I did, it was kind of like, whoa, wait, you could do that? That would solve a lot of problems, because my next solution was actually going to be to bring a contractor in and have them wire the house with Cat 6 and go that route. And everybody's telling me you're nuts, just do wireless. But my experience with wired has always just been so good. All right, now, Justin, you have Google TV. So I wanted to ask you about the home panel. It's something you haven't seen yet, though. Right? I mean,
I personally haven't seen it. Yeah, this thing about Google's home panel where you can control your lights and thermostat and see your doorbell. I mean, I am in a Google household. Everything I have Google speakers, I have the Google Nest, I have the Google doorbell. I mean, I have the Google 4K streamer on multiple TVs. I have not seen this Google home panel. I don't know what it's about, though.
There's talk about this now. So you'd be watching your Google TV, and you would be able to actually bring up the home panel. And with the home panel, see what your thermostat is set for. Get a doorbell ring. See what the doorbell, who's at the door. Or, again, anything else that you'd want to do, you'd be able to check that out, again, with the home panel. And apparently now they're saying it's rolled out and expanding to actually Chromecast devices, because now it's Google TV. Chromecast has kind of gone away, but if you have a Chromecast device, you'd be able to utilize that with the Chromecast device. So either way, it's something to look for. Justin, I think you're going to look that up and see if you can get that.
I'm looking at it right now. I'm trying to search for it on the TV.
Right. All right. Cool. Well,
I've never seen it though. I don't know. This is interesting because I would love to be able to see who is at my door when somebody comes ring my doorbell, or change. Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it doesn't. It doesn't have it. I don't see it. Android. I see Sirius XM, Google Play Games. I see Button.
Is there a
Mapper,
Play
but that's
Store
homeless.
that maybe you have to download?
This is the Play Store.
Oh wow.
I just don't see it. This is
Right.
very interesting.
The home panel.
I don't see it.
Huh.
Yeah.
Unless it's only for TVs that have Google TV embedded.
Well, maybe it's for the TV embedded, but this is their most expensive Google streamer. I mean, this is the 4K Google streamer. I feel like we should have this on the most expensive thing.
All right, we'll look more into this, and maybe we'll have some more info next week. I've got a question. I know that, Justin, you saw the movie Minecraft. You took your son to go see it. Shawn, have you seen that one yet?
No, I have not. I just know there's something to do with chickens.
Chicken jockey.
Oh yeah, what the heck is with that? They're destroying theaters, right?
Yeah, it's a social media thing. In the movie, there's a scene where Jack Black has to face off against a child-looking zombie who's riding a chicken, and they call him the chicken jockey.
Right.
And Jack Black gets his butt kicked by this chicken jockey.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, but yeah, kids and even adults now, they go to a movie theater. There was even this one situation where somebody actually smuggled in a live chicken into a theater.
No. Oh,
and when that scene came out, they released the chicken into the theater, and the chicken was flopping all around the theater, and people are throwing popcorn everywhere and just basically destroying the theater. It got to the point where Jack Black himself showed up to a Los Angeles area theater, and before the movie started, he came out with nobody knowing who it was him,
right?
And was like, "It's time for the Minecraft movie," and then he was like, "And keep in mind, no chicken jockeys, and I am Steve." That's his character name.
Oh
Steve.
boy!
And everybody went nuts when they saw Jack Black in the theater. But yeah, anyway, Minecraft movie, actually really, really good.
All right, this new one that came out last couple weeks ago, Thunderbolts. Which is anybody seen that one yet?
Nope.
It's part of the Marvel series, I guess. All
yeah,
right.
Marvel's just getting. It's just getting.
I haven't had time to do anything at home or anything for myself in the last month.
Right.
I'm not going to the movies.
You're not going to go to the movies.
You should just take a moment and say, you know what? I'm going out tonight. I'm going to go watch a movie by myself.
There you go. And go
I like my life.
I know, but you like your mental health too. Sometimes you just need that chance.
All right, we're going to take another quick break. We come back with more of Tech Talk Radio. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Shawn DeWeird.
And I'm Justin Lemmy. Find us on X at Tech Talk Radio. We'll be right back.
And now, back to Tech Talk Radio.
I'm like one trip shy of a free trip. And I just think
They say that a lot about you.
A couple weeks ago, I took Eric to the local hobby shop, and we just stumbled across BattleBots.
Right.
Live BattleBots happening at the hobby store, except these were miniature BattleBots.
Yeah.
However, they did have one of the actual big BattleBots from the actual show. I can't remember the name of it, though, but it was one of them. Anyway, but it was there. There's a website called botrumble.com.
Oh, what is this?
And it's a page. I think it started in Denver, Colorado, but it is okay. Yeah. See, my phone is going off on it.
Page Rumble. All right.
Yeah, based in Colorado. Bot Rumble is a combat robotics organization, but they're trying to spread around. However, even if botrumble.com isn't the site for you, there is a massive influx of people going and trying out these miniature battle bots. And you can buy these kits that include like the servos and the motors, and they come in two different styles. You can do combat bots, which are actually with weapons, or you can do push bots, which are just gonna kind of push you in the corner. But these miniature bots are amazing, and kids love this kind of stuff. You can build your own robots. It gets you into like thinking about 3D printing because you're going to print the cases for them, and then you're just going to put all the electronics inside, and then you take them to your local hobby stores. And again, Bot Rumble is kind of something local to Colorado, but I guarantee you there's going to be plenty of these different sites around that are doing this. But kids love this kind of stuff. When I took Eric there were so many kids of his age, 8, 9, 10, 11 years old. And then there was the adults, 30, 40, whatever years old. And everybody was having such a good time. Everybody was helping each other out, diagnosing problems with the robots. It's such a cool thing, man.
All right, give us the website address once again.
Well, this one was botrumble.com, but in an over fact, it's just like look up your local hobby store, see if they have any battle bots type of organizations in your area.
All right, I love it. That wraps up this week's Tech Talk Radio. If you have a question, drop us a line, techguys@techtalkradio.com. I'm Andy the Creeper.
I'm Shawn DeWeird.
And I'm Justin, the old guy that searches your name on Grok. We'll see you next time. Have a good one.